Broadcasting live from the WGBB World Headquarters here in New York. This is the Big Fat Joey Show with your host, Big Fat Joey.
Good morning, Long Island. Big Fat Joey Show. Biggest thing on radio. Morning, Sin.
Hi, Big Fat Joey. How are you today?
Living large and laying low. Enjoying this Memorial Day weekend. Well, I guess if I was a duck, I'd be enjoying it.
It's not typical.
No, it's definitely not typical. Rained all day yesterday, pretty much, by mid-afternoon, and cloudy. And today we got some fog, and it's just going to be a so-so weekend. It's been chilly, right? And the water's cold, 55 degrees.
Yes, this is not perfect weather at all. New York is not perfect.
No, far from it. Especially with the pandemic, things that are going on. Everyone's got to, stay tight, lay low, stay at home, and not get too carried away and go out and about, especially once they let us out and there's no more lockdown.
Yes, absolutely. Just got to stay safe. That's what we'll do this weekend.
That's what we've been doing for the past numerous weekends. But you know what? Memorial Day is not really about the weather. It's not about this pandemic that hopefully will go away sooner than later. It's all about our men and women who have served and continue to serve our country in the armed forces. I must thank you. Sin, we thank them all for all the work that they do to keep us safe every day.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. So remember, everybody, get your flags up. Thank a veteran, thank a serviceman or woman, and, show your appreciation, because without them, we wouldn't have what we have. So, with that, remember Memorial Day is all about those that have kept us and still continue to keep us safe.
So who do you have on today? I've
got a great singer from upstate New York here, Jessica Lynn. We're going to be playing her new song, Run To, and we're going to be speaking with her. I spoke with her about a week or so ago to get some, feel for exactly what her new song, Run To, is all about.
Cool. It sounds exciting.
All right. Well, everyone, without any further ado, up next is my interview with Jessica Lynn. All right, everyone, welcome to the line. Singer, songwriter, Jessica Lynn. Jessica, welcome to the Big Fat Joey Show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm great. How are you?
Not bad. Enjoying a beautiful, beautiful day today. Hopefully you are as well.
Yes, I am. I've been doing a bunch of live streams and stuff today, so unfortunately I didn't get to get outside much, but I hear tomorrow is going to be beautiful, and I can't wait to enjoy it. Tomorrow's my day off.
Yes. Tomorrow's supposed to be a beautiful day, and once this winter's been over, trying to suck up every possible moment of sun and fun, because it's just been cold and nasty here in New York.
Yep.
So, Jessica, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I am a New York-based country music singer-songwriter, but I usually say that I'm a crossover artist because I have a lot of rock and blues, pop, soul influences in my music. And I've been performing for a long time. I actually started my first band when I was 13 and was playing all over the New York City nightclub scene, clubs I couldn't even get into because of my age. And then my career started as a country music artist. In 2014, my first full-length concert television special went nationwide on PBS. And then ever since then, it's just been touring around the world. And I just released my third nationwide PBS television special. And we're supposed to be doing an 11-country tour this summer. So it's just been growing every year. And it's been so exciting, just really following my dream, and not just following it, but getting to really live it. It's been really incredible.
Well, I know, you've been traveling Europe. You have a tour coming up here in the States at the end of the summer. But how has the pandemic affected your music making, your tours, all of that? Because, things are shut down. So are you still going full force, or unfortunately are you being, canceled here and there because of, you can't really travel?
We're going full force in different ways. So we're supposed to leave in a week and a half for a 3-month-long European tour and UK run, I was really sad that it got postponed. At first it was just canceled, and then we were lucky enough that every single festival and club and event just wants to move us to 2021. So that was a huge relief. And my USA tour starts the end of August. So we're hoping, as of now, that's all still intact. And we just released my new single. The music video is coming out soon for it. It's called Run To. And I was really excited when that came out. It broke the top 10 on iTunes in Italy and Austria and top 100 in the UK. And so we've just been doing a lot of live streams, just trying to make the most of the situation that we're in.
And that's all you can do. I mean, it's unprecedented times. Things are shut down. I know off air we were talking, Times Square is empty. The 101 freeway in LA is empty. It's just, these are things that you would never think you would ever see in your lifetime.
No, I've never seen anything like this. And when this all started, I honestly didn't think that it was going to escalate into what it has. I mean, I, of course, was worried about my tour. I travel for a living, and I'm in crowds for a living. So
Right.
obviously we've been very affected by COVID-19, but I really didn't know what to. At first, I was like, "Oh, a little flu." Like, "Oh, what are people freaking out about?" And then the moment I realized that it was something to worry about was we did the last show that I performed March 11th. We did a benefit concert. It's supposed to be my tour kickoff show at a winery here in New York, where I filmed my first television show, actually. And the tickets were very pricey because I do a lot of work with veterans and the troops.
Okay.
And it was for a veterans organization. So we had jacked the ticket prices way up because it was going to the charity. And we had a 60% no-show rate to that concert.
Wow.
And that's when I realized, okay, this is something that's very different than what I thought it was. So that was kind of the inkling, like, all right, maybe this year is not going to pan out as you had been saying.
Yeah, my realization of how serious this situation was coming was, unlike yours, I didn't have a concert or anything planned. No one was coming to see me. I'm in the supermarket shopping. I said, okay, let me get an extra roll of toilet paper, an extra roll of paper towels. Then the weekend comes, and you hear all the doom and gloom on the news. I said, you know what? Let me get my food shopping done earlier this upcoming week, and let me stock up a little bit. Stock up. There was nothing to stock up on. I'm like, wow, this must be the real deal. Uh-oh. A good thing I have a lot of socks at home, because I don't know about the bathroom situations, because we don't have that much toiletries in the house. But yeah, that's when we knew it was the real deal. Like, wow, there's nothing. No toilet paper, no paper towels, no tissue boxes, no wet wipes, no nothing.
Yeah. I mean, thank God for me being on tour. I mean, I'm shaking a lot of hands and just flying and transportation. So I always have Clorox wipes and big things of Purell and Germex, just because I'm constantly sanitizing my hands. Obviously, I catch a cold in the middle of a tour, and it's like totally detrimental to what we're there for. So thank God I had a bunch of stuff, and even I always fly with masks because one, you scare the person next to you, so they leave you alone during the flight, and two, you never know, someone just sneezes near you, and again, if I catch a cold, it's really bad. So I was able to actually give some masks to some elderly people that I know nearby. I was able to give them to the band, and it was great because I was already stocked up just from always being cautious of being on the road.
Yeah, and did you ever think that's what you'd be using it for? No, you bought them figuring, if I'm buying one box, I'm going to keep singing for the rest of my career. I might as well just buy the case and just put it in my house, and I'll take one at a time. You're never thinking that you're going to have to supply half your neighborhood.
No, definitely not. But I was very lucky. I hadn't needed to buy any of those cleaning products or anything. I had them all just because we were gearing up for a 5-month-long tour and a lot of handshaking.
Yeah, well, I think that's going to be cut out right now for quite some time.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So when did you know music was for you? When did you realize, listen, I want to be a singer. I want to work in the music business. I want to be a musician. Was that something you grew up with, or was that an epiphany that came to you? How did it come to be?
Well, I come from a musical family. So my dad is actually a retired New York City cop, and my mom was just always doing singing jobs or artistic jobs, acting things, my whole life. So I always grew up with it always in my house. And so my parents say from as early as like 2 years old, I was singing and playing my little toy piano and banging on pots and pans as drums. And I just always felt connected with it. I started writing songs like when I was about 5 years old or so. They weren't any good, but I showed extreme interest, in the arts and in music. I did some musical theater growing up, and I started my first band when I was 13. So it was just always what I knew I wanted to do. There was never a doubt in my mind, like maybe this isn't for me, or I just worked tirelessly at creating a music career ever since I was a little kid. And now my parents play in my band, actually. So my mom's my background singer, my dad is my bass player, and my husband's my lead guitarist.
Well, look at that. It's a family affair.
Yep, like a modern day Partridge Family, I guess you could say. People have told us.
Yeah, modern day Partridge Family. Do you have the psychedelic bus out front?
No, but we did have this old rickety red van that we used to use for gigs. That was quite embarrassing.
Rolling
We've
up.
upgraded since then.
All right. Well, rolling up in the Partridge Family van. Well, and that was a great show back in the day. Danny Bonaduce and the Shelley Jones and the rest of the cast. But the Partridge Family, your family. How is it to work with them? Is the dynamic as a family change? Is it do you separate the business aspect from the family aspect? At the end of the day, it falls like, all right, are we done with session? Yeah, all right. So now you're not my boss. Now you're my daughter. Now let me tell you a couple of things I want to tell you.
Exactly. Really, you hit the nail on the head. We're very good at separating business and family things because you have to be, or you're never going to be successful. If you're worried about hurting feelings or you're doing things just because people are your family or your friends, that never works out good in any type of business. The thing that's so great, though, is that when you work with your family, you can be brutally honest with each other. And that's something that can be difficult, like especially in a creative type setting. Maybe if I was going to say to my drummer, not so crazy about what you're doing, like maybe you should try this. My husband can just say to me, that sucks.
Right.
And like there's no feelings hurt because you just have that type of relationship. And for me, I'm the type of person, I don't like to sugarcoat things, and I don't like sugar-coated things for myself because I feel like you don't really grow that way. Like, I really want to know, is this song good? Am I singing this well? And I get that type of honesty from my family, and I give it. So I think we just have a really cool relationship in that way, and it's also just amazing. I mean, we travel around the world. I've played everywhere from Mexico to Bermuda to Poland and Lithuania and Scotland. And we get to do it together, which is something that families do not often get to experience together. Traveling the world, not only just traveling the world, but playing music together is something that people really connect with when we're out on the road. And it's also really special to get to share those experiences together. Like I don't have to call my husband and be like, hey, I had the most amazing experience at this festival. He got to see it right there next to me. And that's something that's really cool.
Now, two-pronged. One, what's been your favorite place to have visited as a performer? And two, what's your favorite place to have performed in? Country-wise. I always
get asked that question, and it's so hard for me to answer because everything is so different but so great. Like, I honestly can't tell you that there's one place that I loved more than another place because, for example, one place has amazing scenery, or I met the most wonderful family at the show, or another place had the best stage and the best lighting. Another place had the most rowdy crowd. It's another place had the best food I'd ever eaten. So it's so hard to pick. I mean, people even appreciate music so different in each spot. Like the north of France attends a concert different than the south of France does. One's not better than the other. I don't enjoy one more than the other, but it's so hard to pick. I mean, we've played near the beach, we've played near the desert. There's not a single place that I've ever gone that I didn't enjoy.
I'm going to put you in the corner now. If you can only choose one place, your manager says this is it. We only have one place we have to go to. Don't worry about the salary. we're going to get paid, but whoever's promoting us says we have one place and that's all we can play. Where would you have to go?
Oh, a place. We've been so many places. It's hard to pick one that I haven't gone yet. I would love to play in Hawaii. I've never been there, just as a tourist, and I hear it's incredibly beautiful. And that would be a cool place to not just play, but to also have a little vacation while we're there.
You can channel your inner Don Ho and play some Tiny Bubbles.
Exactly.
Now, since we've been speaking about different places to play, who would you like to play with that you've never played with before, who's alive, and who would you like to have been able to play with who is unfortunately dead?
That's easy for me. So I'm extremely lucky that in the span of my career so far, I've been able to perform with and meet two of my three bucket list performers. I'm a huge Phil Vassar fan, and I got to open for him and sing with him, do a duet a few years ago. And then I'm also a huge Richard Marx fan, and I was able to open for him about 2 months ago. And those were just dreams. It was a dream come true for me. Richard Marx was my first concert when I was 5 years old. So to get to be on stage with him after all these years was really a very full circle moment for me, and it was really emotional and special. And my third person would be Neil Diamond. I am a huge Neil Diamond fan. I grew up listening to him every single day. I love his songwriting. The thing I love so much about him is that he puts so much emotion into every single word that he sings. He could sing the word "the" and it will like break your heart. And I really tried to learn that from him as an artist. So if I could duet or work with someone living, it would be Neil Diamond. And the person that has passed would definitely be Elvis for me. He was so revolutionary and just different in what he did, and just had such a star quality that's just so admirable.
Yeah, I mean, for the short career that Elvis had, he's definitely has been enamored by fans, young and old. He's gaining new fans, and I think himself, obviously Michael Jackson, Prince. I think these gentlemen are making more money deceased than they were alive.
It's true. And that's what I love so much about people always ask me in interviews, like, what are your influences? And they're always expecting me to say, like, oh, Carrie Underwood, or, a more modern country artist. For me, I'm so inspired by those older acts because they were so unique. And that's why they've become so legendary. I mean, when you turn on the radio and you hear Elvis, you know that that's Elvis.
Right.
Today, I turn on the radio and I can't tell 5 songs apart from each other. And I think that's a big problem in modern music. And I really think that's why. I mean, everyone had such individuality and was so unique in their craft. And that's real music. That's real talent and artistry.
And you're right. You listen to the radio, even me and my wife are like, who's that? And I'll say it's this one, and then you hear the DJ. No, it's blah blah. Like, and you're right. A lot of them sound very, very similar, and it's definitely difficult to tell them apart. But the Neil Diamonds, the Elvis Presleys, the Princesses, the Michael Jacksons. When those songs are on, there is no doubt in your mind, unless you don't know anything about pop culture or any of the superstars of music. If you don't know who they are, it's just there's an issue with you.
It's true.
So in all that you've been doing, you have your new song that's out. Is there anything that inspired you to write your song? Is there anything that inspired you to write it the way you did? I mean, are we running to something, running away from something that we were at? What inspired you to write that song?
I over the last few years of being in the business, I was lucky enough to have success at radio. My last single broke the top 40 at Music Row in Nashville, and the one before that broke the top 50. And when it's been such a struggle as an artist to write songs and put out music that you want to put out, but also that will be good at radio, that will be good on a festival stage.
Right.
Or there's sadly, so many business decisions that go into putting out a piece of music that should truly just be creative. And I've really struggled with that over the years. And my New Year's resolution this year was I'm going to spend the first 2 weeks of 2020 writing. I'm not going to think about anything. I'm going to pick up my guitar for about 8 hours a day, which I did. I couldn't even touch anything. My hands were so sore. And just write from the heart and don't think about anything. Whatever comes out, comes out. And it was some of the best stuff that I had ever written because I was using my heart and soul, which I hadn't done in a long time. And that's where Run To came from. I just picked up the guitar and it just flowed out of me so fast. I wrote that song, probably in under 40 minutes or so. And it really is just a genuine, honest piece of music, my whole album is. That pretty much my new album is coming out. It's supposed to be an EP that turned into an album now that we're home for the summer to finish it. And pretty much it's all the material that came out those 2 weeks.
You know, it's been my experience of all the people, all the musicians, entertainers that I speak with. It's the piece of work that was, one, done from the heart, and two, done in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, less than an hour, that they've had their help me out here. They've had their most success. Can't say the word biggest. There you go, biggest success. And just like yourself, you wrote this you wrote Run To in 40 minutes, and it's turning out to be a huge, huge success for yourself. And that's what I'm finding most of the people I speak with, those are the ones that they ponder over, they labor over. Oh, this took me 2 or 3 weeks. I was in a cabin up in Vermont, I think I sold 4 records, and it was played once somewhere. It's like, okay. And all the stuff that they've just, banged out in a moment's notice, like, you know what? I was watching, Seinfeld, and I wrote this, and while Seinfeld was on it, here it is.
Yeah, my best songs, even the fan favorites, just over the years in the live shows, not even stuff I've released as singles, have always been things that just came naturally. And I think it's because people really feel when it's genuine or when it's labored over. And that's what music should be. It should be honest and real. And so I'm really proud of the new stuff. And I was just blown away by the reception of Run To. There have been so many, even people covering it online and sending me their videos. And it's just been really awesome. And the music video comes out May 29th, which I'm so happy how it came out. And it's a really good start to the year for me, as much as all this crazy stuff is also going on.
Yeah, I mean, any good start to this year, any start at all to this year is a good start, regardless of what you were able to do and get done. Because, especially since, obviously we spoke and you said you did your music video during the crisis. So obviously you had a small staff with you and everyone was social distancing. So that's had to be a lot different than the normal videos you make.
Oh, it definitely was. Usually we have a lot of hands on deck to help. Everyone had their masks on. Everybody was 6 feet apart. We did it with a 2-person crew, which is like unheard of for a music video. Nobody was allowed to touch their equipment or even help them carry anything. Normally we'd all be pitching in and, even though we hired the crew, we want to be nice people and help lots of this stuff throughout the farm or whatever. And, they didn't want anybody touching anything. Understandable. They stayed apart. It was very interesting. It was, even when the band showed up for the second day to film their parts, no one hugged hello. It was, and we hadn't seen each other since our last show, March 11th. So you wanted to be hugging each other. I miss you guys so much. And it was just a weird, and we did it all outdoors too. And we started at sunrise on one of the days. So I look like I'm all warm and glamorous, but I was freezing because we just didn't want to be indoors and risk, anybody's health and safety.
Well, that's the magic of film. You can make it look warm, make it look cold, regardless of what the actual temperatures are.
It's true. We always laugh. A music video I put out, it was never a single we serviced to radio, but it's been one of my fan favorites ever since 2016 when it came out, a song called Not Your Woman. And there's a scene of me dancing on a farm in a dress in it. And it looks like I'm just having a good time dancing around this pasture or whatever, but there was so much horse poop in this corral. That I was literally stepping on poop and dancing around just these piles of poop and trying to like avoid them. So it's really funny when we watch it back. Like it looks all cute, like I'm prancing around, but meanwhile I knew what I was trying to avoid.
Well, when they say you stepped in it, then you definitely stepped in it.
I know. Literally.
Now, when all's said and done, what do you want people to garner from your music? What's the message you're trying to put out there?
Something that I always kind of preach. I actually have a master's degree in teaching, and I've never taught because of my music career really taking off, which I'm so blessed to have happened. But I always preach to be different and stay true to who you are. And I think my music speaks that to everyone that listens. I'm not the typical country artist. I don't sound like everybody else on the radio. And at first that was a scary thing, right, to be so different. Mm-hmm. But I learned that it was actually my biggest asset. And it really set me apart from the pack. It showed people you can be whatever you want to be. And I think when people hear what I do, they'll understand that. And I think just in life in general, like just, always kind of lead the way. You never have to follow anybody else's path. And you can be successful just being you, because that's what makes you unique and great.
And that's true. And that harkens back to what we were saying a couple of moments ago, where on the radio, everyone is starting to sound the same. It's unless you have a very well-trained ear or you just happen to be, a true aficionado of those particular singers, musicians, it's very hard to stand out nowadays because, as you said, you love to make music for the love of it, but at the end of the day, sometimes love doesn't always pay the bills, and you need to make music that's going to actually help pay the bills.
Yeah, and it's hard, but it's difficult, but you can find the balance between being you and also having a product that is commercially good. There is that balance. You just have to find it.
So speaking of finding, how can my audience find, follow, and keep up with everything Jessica Lynn and get your new single, Run To?
My website is jessicalynmusic.org, and there are links on there to all my social media channels. I'm very active on all the platforms. So if you just search Jessica Lynn Music on Instagram or Facebook, you can find me. I have a YouTube channel, Jessica Lynn Country. There's all clips on there from my television specials and just fan videos from shows. And my new music, as well as all my old catalog, is on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, every digital retailer.
Well, that's great. Well, Jessica Lynn, thank you for being on the Big Fat Joey Show. I wish you nothing but luck and success in everything that you do.
Thank you so much. This was really fun. I really appreciate you having me.
Well, thank you for being on. Be well, and we'll speak soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that was a great interview with Jessica Lynn.
Yes, I'm excited for the song. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Up next, Jessica Lynn's new song, Run To.
I can't just quiet my mind. It talks all the time now, figuring us out. Where do we go? All of the questions at hand, they feel like what could stand out. They're pulling me so down, but I never show.
what a great song, Run To, and Jessica Lynn. You know, it's been a pleasure having her on. It's great to hear her new song that's out and about, right, son?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen? It's that time again. Tick tock, tick tock.
The end of May. Can you believe it?
The end of May. You know what? The year is going fast, especially with all the craziness that's going on, the new normal that's going on. It's going to be June 1st, you know, a week from tomorrow. And, you know, hey, listen, what's Christmas? Another 180 days or something like that from now. So, you know what? Ho, ho, ho. I guess we can start our Christmas shopping sooner than later.
Well, I'm not ready for that. One thing at a time.
I know. Let's try to get the 4th of July. And hopefully, you know, this pandemic have calmed down because, you know, I love going out to the Hamptons and especially Southampton Town's 4th of July parade. It's an awesome, awesome event.
Well, we all have to stay safe. That's what we'll do this weekend. And Sex and the City's on. I'm happy.
I know they have a marathon on all weekend. Sin's been watching that since we've been cooped up in the house. All right, everyone. Big Fat Joey, biggest thing on radio here with Sin.
All right, let's do it.
All right, everyone. Have yourselves a great Memorial Day weekend. And remember, make every sandwich count. Peace.